Okay, forward then. President's report. So, a couple of things I wanted to share with everybody. We had a meeting with the court on the 5th of January. Several of us were there. This is an annual meeting of officers with the court. So I was there, President-elect Clark was there, past President Schicchetti was there, Treasurer Peterson was there, and we had members of the staff, including the executive director and Glennis Kleinfelder, CO. And I'm probably missing some people, but this is all available on TVW if you want to see the whole meeting. We talked to the Supreme Court about some updates that we're doing. Obviously, we talked to them about the process for developing recommendations to the court regarding the Bar Association's structure. With the assistance of our personnel director, Glennis Kleinfelder, CO, we gave an update on the Bar Association's work to improve the climate and culture for employees there. It was a very good presentation. I think she gave that presentation to the whole board earlier, if I'm not mistaken. So they got a chance to see that discussion. It was very good. We also kind of gave them an update with Chair Michael Cherry's blessing about the Practice of Law Board's proposal for regulatory laboratory. Didn't want to step on his toes, so I checked in with him before the meeting to make sure that anything I said mirrored what he would like to be known to the Supreme Court at that point. So it's pretty short. And then we had some additional discussion and questions and thoughts and ideas from. It was a good discussion for the most part. I know that past President Schicchetti wanted to make sure that the Supreme Court knew about the taxi cab committee and its work to try and coordinate with the different independent boards that are financed by and administered by the Bar Association. So that was also part of the discussion. We did share with the Supreme Court justices in an attachment to our agenda the adopted scheme that we adopted on the 14th of December. So they got that too. A couple other things I wanted to just share with you during the report, if I can. We had a staff session on March 8th, well attended by the staff. We had officers and a couple of other governors there. There were some tough questions, but it was, I think it was a good back and forth question and answer session. Of course, this is just the start. We'll be having additional staff sessions. The next one is on the 8th of March at this point. We have a team building retreat scheduled for the 25th and 26th, and we'll be giving you more details about that later. The ABA, of course, is having a meeting in Seattle in February, and I think there'll be a discussion about that later on today. But you should know that a couple of our local luminaries, legal luminaries, are going to be awarded at that ABA meeting. One is, of course, our own Chief Justice Gonzalez. He's going to receive the Spirit of Excellence Award, and Justice Whitener is going to receive apparently the Stonewall Award from the American Bar Association at their meeting here in February in Seattle. I wanted to just note, very sadly, we lost former Chief Justice Mary Fairhurst, who I think we'll probably be talking about during the roundtable discussion later today. She was, of course, a former president of the Bar Association. She was on the Board of Governors before that. She was just a wonderful person who spent her life trying to improve the law, the administration of justice, the legal system. We miss her terribly. The Bar Association right away put up a mourning message that's still available. It's been updated because from what I've been told, and it's in the update, the celebration of life memorial for our former Chief Justice has been postponed from the January 30th date. So that's all I know. I don't know if they've set a new date for that yet. We lost some other legal luminaries here over the past year. I can't go through the whole list, but I wanted to point out a couple of them, and I'm going to tie them together because this is my point of personal privilege. A little earlier this year, a longtime attorney in Seattle by the name of Stan Bear died. And you're going to say, well, did you know Stan Bear? And personally, I didn't know him, but I know of his law firm, the Hauger Garvey Schubert firm, which at one point I think had his name in the title. And that, of course, that firm is now merged with the Foster Scheffelman firm, I think it was called. Now it's called Foster Garvey, big firm, many cities, including office in Beijing. Mr. Bear was one of the people who was working in Washington, D.C. for one of our congressional representatives. I might have been Magnuson when and helped work on the Civil Rights Act of 1964. He worked with other people in Washington, D.C. to reopen trade with China. Now you're saying, well, so you didn't know him. Why are you talking about him? Well, at one point, a very young lawyer working for his law firm by the name of Dean Morgan was there. Some of you may know Dean Morgan. He became a Superior Court judge in Clark County, later a Court of Appeals Division II judge. But I had the privilege of meeting Dean Morgan when he was a young associate at Hauger Garvey Schubert, because he was also an instructor at the business school at the University of Washington. He graduated from the University of California, Hastings, I think, in 1968. So he was like 2 years out of law school when he was teaching a class at the University of Washington as an instructor. And the name of the class was Business Government Society 200. But it was really my first exposure to how a law class is likely to be constructed, because he ran it like a law class. And the textbook was The Nature and Functions of Law, which was put out by the Foundation Press way back when. I still have my copy, and I was hoping at some point to see him at a conference and say, hey, would you autograph this for me? But I didn't get a chance to do that ever. So we lost him here this year. So that's my point of privilege. He was a big impact on me figuring out how law classes work. And of course, he taught at Lewis and Clark, maybe while past President Schicketti was a student there, and because he did that while he was both the director of the Public Defender organization down there, and then later on as a Superior Court judge in Clark County. So big impact on my life from our late Dean Morgan, Court of Appeals judge. There are other people we lost this year, but just wanted to point that out.